indoctrinated. And we are all ripples, meaning we left Eden. We left that point of singularity and we ventured outward. And when we did so, we became weaker and weaker in our rebellion. We rippled, we repelled, we rebelled from the center. And that's the ripple effect. So don't think about Pangea when you think about human origins. Don't think about the Big Bang. Think about the ripple effect. Think about how humans migrated from Eden, and the more we ventured outward, the less we knew of ourselves. In Eden, we knew what we were, because in Eden, we were constantly looking at this dark tower, reminding us that where we come from. When we left Eden, the future generations haven't seen this thing in thousands of years, to the point we're even debating whether or not it exists, even though all compasses are pointing us there. So they've been hiding this magical place for a long time, and the end of world religions will begin the quest back to the center. And I want to leave y'all with that beautiful ending. Just remember that we have rippled or repelled or rebelled from the center, and that what flat earth represent is a journey back to our homeland. And that's a spiritual journey as well as a physical one. You don't make the physical journey until you first make the spiritual one. People who are interested in getting on a boat going to the North Pole, they've already made a spiritual journey within to the center of themselves, which led them to want to make a physical journey. So this is a multi-level of initiation. And your final phases of initiation into this knowledge won't even take place on this plane. It'll take place in the subtle planes that exist within this one. You see, so what I mean is a lot of occult members meet up in secrecy and they meditate, and what happens in a lot of these big time lodges, a lot of these Masons meet up and they go in a room and they lay their bodies down and they all go to sleep for hours, and they meet up in dream places. Some of these places on the earth, like I said, this is an endless plane. So you don't have enough fuel to reach all of the areas on this earth. The best way to travel on this earth is through the portal, which is inside of you, in your mind. And that's what the elite have been doing. They control space physically, mentally, and spiritually. So what they do in secrecy is they lay down and lay their bodies down, and they all meet up on different continents or different worlds that maybe one of the elite members created. Because when you get real skilled with this mastering the darkness, you can actually create your own paradises and then allow your initiates to join you there. So when Jesus say that I prepared a place for you in heaven, that means that the earth we live in now is a place that was prepared for us by a higher Buddha. We're inside of another God's world right now, but we have the opportunity to create our own because there are neutral gods. Now, this is another belief. I believe that every ripple is a different deity with its own creation, but this can go deep and deep. And I think all of us can become a source ripple as opposed to just a ring. And I think that it's phases of initiation, and that all of us flat earthers are at our final stage where now after this life, we're going to go and become the ripple or the source that creates new worlds. That's what I think we are. So we've made our journey from the outside in, and in our next life, we'll actually explode from the inside out and become the ripple or the point of singularity. Because right now we were born into a ripple effect or earth cosmos.
Bro, it just stopped transmitting.
Let me stop. Let me stop.
That's the 8 hours.
Thank you.
Whoa, what an amazing hangout. I can't believe you've been going for 8 hours.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
I love you. I love you.
I don't have no one to talk to this about but you guys.
Wow.
Well, we're not an arguing group. We let people talk.
Yes,
I
brother.
mean, carry
Well,
on.
I don't like when you are in the hangout and people arguing with you. I
Well,
love listen. I love listen to you like this.
well,
Yeah.
don't y'all get used to this because the earth is entering a time now where there's going to be many more arguments and even wars because people like us was called witches. We was at war in the ancient day for speaking like this, and they're gonna wage war against us again. I'm just letting you guys know. I love the positive energy as well, but we are at war, and we're here to unlock minds. And arguments are nothing but debates or debacles. It's tense moments, and when we're trying to reach balance, we're gonna go through turbulence. But we welcome them. Long as we don't start the arguments, we're okay. But we have to end them though.
Yeah, and we should all be, allowed to voice what it is because we're all like we've got there slightly differently. You've maybe some of the stuff tonight. It's not that I didn't know some of the stuff, but I just like the way you put it. Like people don't realize the church says you basically got to believe in the Lord Jesus to get to God, but you don't. You can do that yourself. Whatever God is, the creator, source, whatever, you can do that yourself. You don't need anybody else. You don't need the Bible.
You know what?
And then we realize it's like a form of communism because I did say before, I think I mentioned it, but farmers and everything, they used to work. The churches owned everything, and the people worked on the land, and then the people went to church every Sunday and all that. So they were all indoctrinated, living in it, working in it. Yeah, that's the way it was. I mean, now they're trying to do it a different way, aren't they, through the television? Because obviously a lot of people don't go to church now. Some
Yep.
do, don't they? But I'm just saying a lot don't go to church, so they've got to find a different way of doing it. And it just seems it's just like every time you think about flat Earth, it's just the whole thing is treason. It's treason everywhere. Everything is wrong. Everything is back to front. They've tried to cover everything up so badly. Everything it's disgusting. I
I
can't
agree.
find another. It's treason and disgusting.
I can't believe that I had the doggone Google Hangout code showing. A hacker can get that code. Sorry.
That's what I thought. No, you've been like, it's just all just like, how could there be all this knowledge and all this wisdom and everybody knew everything and they actually knew how we worked, what shape we were, everything, and then we've just gone through all this crap history telling us about like the Middle Ages. None of it can be true.
You're so right.
It's all just oh,
Thank you. I'm gone. Thank you.
you gotta go. Okay.
Hey, you have a
Lovely
good one, Judith. You did have a beautiful spirit. I enjoyed you. Thank you. Hey, you do too. Hey, Karen, do I be pronouncing your name right?
Yeah, that's how you
Karen.
say it, Karen. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
there's no
enjoy.
60s name. Everybody was called Karen or Sharon.
That's crazy. I never linked the two together. It makes sense now.
Yeah,
Sharon or
there's another
Karen.
name as well. It's Karen, Sharon, Carol.
You know, you just taught me something just by saying that because you just taught me some more phonetics with etymology. When we say CH, it can be pronounced sh, but it also can be pronounced k. So the alphabet K may have came from, like you said, Sharon and Karen is interchangeable, just like the CH and the K or the SH sh and the K can be ka. There's a lot of things I just learned, just simple stuff. I don't mean to always be learning and teaching, but damn, man, like I can't stop. Let me just stop.
Happy birthday, Pero. My dear.
Is it today? What is his birthday today?
I turned 33 on the 22nd. Yep.
He's a young man.
No time, you said, Pero. No time.
Santos, my eldest son is older than you. My
Yeah.
eldest son is 34.
You want to know something crazy about me? My birthday was 11/22/2017, right? And that equals out to 16, which equals out to 7, the number of completion, the number of the goddess. 7 has the word Eve in it. When I was born, I never knew I would be doing the work of the mother goddess. And I always ask questions about the stars, not knowing I was asking questions about Nut, the goddess. And I see that I was born to do this, and that everything about my life is very symbolic. Because I was born in November, all right? And to me, that's a month dealing with autumn time, AU, which is the time of the goddess, autumn time, Thanksgiving time, all of that. It's so symbolic. Bro Sanchez in English gematria equals out to 666, which is the number of the Antichrist or the number of the goddess. And not only that, my birthday was a great alignment. It was on 11/22, and I became 33. So it was like 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
you know? And the 33rd degree is like the climax degree of masonry and the angle of the sun. So it's a lot of, when Santos Bonacci talk about astrology, I'm interested to learn more of how our name and birthday link with the stars, because I see it a lot now. In fact, you know, 11/22/2017, you think of 2017 being a year that I turned 33, that's symbolic, because 2017 is the great year. In other words, the celestial year began this year. And this year I turned my 33rd degree of initiation into the cult of the mother goddess, spiritually. And I think that's very deep, because 2017 is 10, which is the number of the binary code, the goddess. And I just had to leave y'all with all of that.
You mean it's all come together at once?
Yeah. I really enjoy being here too, Karen. This Sun and Moon group is one of those shows that I can say, hey guys, I'm getting sleepy, but keep it going. Let me take a sleep and wake up and keep going. Like, you don't want to leave this stream. I love what you created over here, because for people that talk a lot like me, I'm a motor mouth. And for there to be no interruptions, and for you to have a platform where you just let people go, let me tell you something, that the great brother Sanchez is learning something from you, Karen. I'm learning how to run better live streams, being on your show. Because after leaving this show, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to let people talk. Because I cut Santos off a couple of times, and I noticed at the time I was doing it, the hints that was thrown. I picked up on them, and I learned from them. And I want to say I apologize. That's a fucked up quality of mine. I do cut people off because I think I have so much to say, and I just got to learn to take notes, be quiet, and wait till people finish. And I'm telling you, you teach that. You teach that.
Oh, that's very nice of you to say. But the whole point is that, you know, obviously we don't have people like you on so often. So why would we want to talk all over you when you're there? I know we had Santos on as well, but I said to the people coming on today, it's Bro and Santos that are going to do the talking. You're coming in to listen, really, you know, today, because that's why we asked. Obviously, you were on. But I think on your streams, you have a lot of people coming in. And what I heard you say, right, I don't want to go off topic. I might bore you to death with this, but I'm not changing the subject. I'm going on about this. But he went, oh, no. I thought, well, I'm not interrupting. And then the person came next talking. You went, oh, but I just wanted to know about Antarctica. And you went, what? What's that got to do with what I was talking about? Next. And so maybe that's what frustrates you a bit. Maybe when you want to go into these really big, deep talks, you only have who you want on that panel. And then when you want to open it up to people talking, you have as many as you want on there. But when you've got to make these big speeches, like you've got so much, just have who you want on it. Even if it's just you. They have to listen to you then. Because I can tell, like, I think what happens is that I like to say that you seem a very spiritual person. But when someone is like a wall in front of you and you know that vibe, it gets you go up, and then everybody, and I could feel last weekend that people were annoying you and it was making you a little bit flustered. But you can't help those people. And like, for instance, I couldn't believe that guy Tom Tom. He said was he a Buddha? And you were trying to say, well, that's still fake. That is still a fake. You're still believing in religion. And then I think you actually shut him off the Hangout, but he was able to talk in the chat. And he was going, bro, I thought you were a real man. And then he did something about like Jesus licking good. Well, if he was what he said he was, why did he get all narky? He wasn't acting like a Christian or a Buddha. He also was very narky and rude.
Yep.
They just get nasty.
And
you can feel that vibration. Well, that is going to annoy you, isn't it? Because you feel I'm here to tell the truth as best as I can with the knowledge I'm getting. I'm putting it out. And then there's these rude people. And then they say they're Christians. So it's all a bit weird, really.
It is. Christians are on a phase of their spiritual evolution that I really, you know, the people who die Christians, I have a belief that they come back to this exact same earth pond. I think that Christianity is a solar system, a trap for your soul to be reborn here. But I think reincarnation is the goal. But if we're on an endless plane, where we go is better places from here. And we're supposed to be upgrading. But I think when we die with certain belief systems, that it may alter our afterlife. I hope not, because I love my grandmother, my auntie.
Can I say something to you? Can I say something? One thing I noticed, because my grandmother was into all these spirit groups and stuff like that. And then I know that it's in me. It's in the Welsh. Well, a medium told me I'm a Welsh witch, but not a bad witch, a white witch. I'm very sensitive, these kind of things, a bit psychic. And he said it's in all the women. What am I getting to? There's a point. Oh my goodness, I've just lost the point now. I'm just point's gone. No, it's because I've not slept. Yeah, this sensitiveness I've got is almost unbearable, bro. I know what people are saying, what they're thinking. I know when people are lying to me. It's making it almost impossible to have a relationship because they're trying to tell me this when I know they're kind of lying. They don't mean to lie. But this much sensitivity is ridiculous. But it's been there since I was a child. Oh, that's what I was going to say. So my grandmother was into all this stuff. My mum and her sisters didn't like it. It kind of frightened them. So there's a missing link. And my grandmother died when I was 7. So there's no way I can connect with her. Well, only like mediums say that she's with me. But anyway, going to spirit groups, I suddenly noticed that I have brought people through. I've actually said all this stuff and this person's gone, yes, that's my aunt. Yeah? But when I actually look at things, the mediums never, ever say, your dad on the other side has come back as the nephew across the road. They never come back. If they ever talk to someone, they're in spirit world. They're not here. They never come. I don't know if you come back. I believed that we did. I believed that we reincarnated. But it's suddenly just with flat earth. I don't know. I was listening to hang on a minute. I've never heard a medium ever say any of the spirits have come back. They're always on the other side. Whereas I always believed we reincarnated. It was just something I thought. What do you think about that? They never, ever say they come back. It's not like you went to a medium. It's not like they say your great-grandfather is reincarnated. They're always still in spirit world. Mm-hmm. And I think that spirit world, I mean, we can't prove any of this stuff, but in your mind, right, when you open up, when Marlena talks about the 6 and 7 sense, in your mind, these interdimensions that you're in, you can go through it in your higher self and it moves up. World is just a higher dimension. So they actually are always here, but we can't see them and feel them because they're in a different dimension to us. Mm-hmm. Just very quickly, because I know that your time's pressing, but have you seen that guy who explains what Flatland's all about? He's a 1960s bloke. We have actually put it out a few times because he explains what the 4th dimension is really well. But he starts off with a flatard, which is basically flat. And then it can only see left and right. It can't even see up. But say something from the 3rd dimension came in and he used an apple and he put the apple in some ink. He said that flatard in that first dimension will only see the points of where the apple meets the ground, see the apple. So it knows that something's there, but it can't really work it out because it can't see all of it. Well, I'm wondering if that's what spirit world's all about, and that's why you can sense them. I mean, I feel them, I don't see them. Some people see them, I just feel them. I just suddenly know that there's something here. So maybe they're in these other dimensions and we just can't see them, which means they haven't left.
Maybe they're all of these places at the same time, and at the same time still experiencing a brand new experience, and it's still evolving and also still existing as our loved ones in spirit. And it's not a very complex thought when you think of the multiverse and how we are. It makes sense, like that my grandma can still exist in spirit among us, in her energy, her essence, at the same time still moved on in her journey, you know.
I just can't believe what we're living in, to be honest. I was happy that we were flat. I thought this is what it's all about. I realized this is why I was so sensitive. I mean, my birth chart says that I'm an elder that's been sent back. I've just told you. I'm not sure if we do come back in that way. That means they never leave, but we don't come back in the same essence as a human. I don't know. It's just this whole thing we're in is absolutely. I mean, what we're uncovering, people like you, Santos, whoever it is, Matt, the people, even the people trying to do the research on the maps. It's just that everything is just. It's just like we're in someone else's game. Are we supposed to find out why we're here? Are we supposed to learn all this stuff? Are we supposed to know it? Because everything is just so bad. It's everything. It's not just, hey, they lied about us being a bull. They've lied about everything. Everything they're telling us right now. Everything. The news, the hoaxes, the wars, everything. Everything's a lie. History, the pyramids, the pyramid people, and what you're talking about is even older. It's all a lie. Those people knew everything. They were living, like even the pyramid people, they were living, like you say, they were sort of transporting themselves somehow. I was talking to, you'd like him, his name's Weedy the Dark, he's into free energy. So he was working out that the pyramid people were somehow transporting themselves, but they may not have been it may not have been their bodies, but they were able to go to places, a bit like using the ball from the Wizard of Oz. You know, when the witch, not the Wizard of Oz, we're talking of Dorothy. The wizard. What's that one?
It's interesting that you say that, because the pyramids,
you have magic ball.
Yeah, and they was able to use them as teleportation devices.
Yeah.
Because the pyramids are nothing but ancient CERN technology. So this what they're doing at CERN is what the ancient Egyptians was been trying to do.
Well, guess what? On Friday, FPV's re-showing his work, it changed the map on it because, well, I used someone else's map and they striked me. That's why we're on another channel. It's supposed to be, all this flat earth stuff's supposed to be free. They copyrighted it. He showed a little bit of their work in a model and they striked me. And they striked his video. But anyway, basically, the angels are a bit like mechanisms here which turn things on and turn things off, and it helps with the sun and the moon, like moving them around, and the fact that obviously there's a big grid underneath us and we're sort of living in some kind of pyramid, to be honest, some kind of Merkaba we're living in. So I mean, you just think, who could create all this? It's just like it's like the more you look into it, just it gets more and more and more and more, and there's just so much information. It's like you're turning into a scientist just to explain it. Like all these years, I mean, look at NASA. Look at just what the hell's going on here. What is this? It's like I just want to scream how we've been taken so far away from where we're supposed to be.
It definitely takes away a lot of fear. It lets you see that what I am is beyond flesh and bone. It's beyond physical. If I can recreate this flesh and bone in a dream, and I can, what is it? So yeah, you definitely right. Like That's definitely something deeper to this place that we unlock with all of this.
And do you know something else, bro? Do you know something else? I mean, it's not that this is very much, by the way. It's not that it doesn't mean that I'm any better or anything than anybody else, but I have visions, you know, and the visions I saw weren't very nice. It never showed me all of it. But I was in a plane going down, for instance. The next day, the plane went down. I was looking through someone's eyes on the plane. And the next day, the plane went down by the Olympics, the American Olympics. There was a plane that went into the sea. I thought I was on that plane. And then I was on this train and it blew up. I started looking through the papers, and basically a train was going past an oil refinery in India, and they had an explosion and it hit the train and it killed all the people. I saw it. I was in the train before it happened. But Lady Diana, you know, Princess Diana dying, there was masses of stuff around here, but I didn't realise that that's what I was seeing, because it would take me to these visions, but only a little bit, like taking me around all this railing. Of course, it was Kensington Palace, and this is where all the people put all their stuff out for her. They tied it to the railings around Kensington. It's just like, how come I'm seeing bits before they've even happened? I saw a bit of 9/11, but I was going on an aeroplane with my children, so I didn't look at it properly, because I thought, I'm not going to be getting on the plane at this rate. Because I saw, it doesn't mean that 2 planes went into the Twin Towers, but the connection was, it said 2 planes. In fact, there was more, but it kept going 2 planes, 2 planes. I thought, well, I can't look at this because I'll never go on holiday. We had only just come back off our holiday the day before 9/11 happened. So it's just like, I've stopped looking at it all now, because it's just became too much, because I don't see anything nice. I don't get hurt. I don't feel anything. I just see something that's going to happen. I can't say when and where. That's so annoying. It just gives me this little vision of something. It's crazy. So what's all that about? Why do I get these little visions before they happen, and none of them are nice? They've always got people dying in it.
And then we have psychic moments and deja vu moments. So there's a lot to us humans, you're right. Because if we can, when we have, for example, psychic moments where we see something happen before we happen, where are we seeing it from? We're looking at this from the inside. It ain't like we're looking at our wall or looking at our cell phone to see this future event. It's coming from inside of our mind.
Yeah.
So the future exists within us.
That's the mistake people make. They think reality's outside their head. It's not, it's inside your head.
Yeah, that's really
deep. Inside your head.
I'm glad you pointed that out, because you just, the future, it even exists within us on that level. Because, if I could see something happen before it happened, the future is already in me. Damn, like.
Don't you think that's crazy?
It's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
And you know something else as well? I know that you were talking about those civilizations, and you were saying some of them are thousands of years old. I'm just not even sure if we're that old anymore. It doesn't mean we're not maybe a few thousand years old. I just can't. It doesn't feel right now that it's thousands and thousands of years.
You're right about
pyramids
that.
Don't look that old, do they?
I think a lot of time we throw these years and these numbers around based on historians, and just to refer to a time period that the other person. But I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of with you, Karen. I don't think that the Earth is necessarily. I really don't know no more about the age of it. I don't think nobody really know. So to even deal with history on the timeline is laughable now. But we still do it because, they got everything broken down from Big Bang and dinosaurs. And so you got to go and debunk all of this crap now. But you're so right. Especially when you think about...
Do you know something, bro? Do you know something? There aren't that many night altitude balloons, by the way, where you can get nighttime footage. But one I've got on the main Sun and Moon group, but I copied it off someone else, the link's there. Basically, the balloon's at 17 miles up, and some of the stars are below the moon, below the balloon. You can see them. Those stars are miles up. They're not hundreds of miles, they're miles. I'm not saying they don't go up higher, maybe 60 miles or something, because there's these 2 companies one's in South America, one's in Germany. You can actually find their websites. They've actually got tutorials, little videos, which explain who and what they are. So it's not like they're covered up. You just got to find the company. And basically, they've got machines where they can make stars, but they can't get any further than 60 miles with the machine. It doesn't mean the machines couldn't make the stars higher. They just said they cannot get past 60 miles. So if that's true, and this night altitude balloon picks up stars below 17 miles, the stars are going from, say, 15 miles to maybe 50 miles. That's it. The stars are close. So take all the noughts off. When they say light years away and zeros, you take all of them off. So what is it? So the sun's supposed to be 93 million miles away. Well, I don't even believe it's 93 miles away, because that sun is there in the sky like the moon. It's there.
Yeah.
It's just incredible.
It is.
I know what you're saying about the sun and all that. I understand with the, like, what is this we're in? We're all seeing our own sun though, because I told you, went to a beach and you looked out and you looked back, the sun's coming to your feet, but just say your wife, she's standing up, it won't be going to her feet, it only comes to your feet. And when she looks at you, the sun's only coming to her feet, not yours. What is all that?
That's something, because I don't think people even get what you just said. And that's crazy, because you're right. I've been to the beach several times and I never even thought about that in my life till I became a flat earther. Like, the sun can be shining up to my feet and I can look over at my girl and the line doesn't really reach her. But she see the same thing and saying the same thing about me. And it's like, wow, we get both of the pictures. Both of us are seeing the line at our feet, but she can't see mine and I can't see her. Like, it's crazy, because it make you re-question this place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what it is.
I mean, Matt, who was off at the beginning, he reckons there is no zero. Not for there's 369. That's it. There's 3 numbers, 3 colors. 0 is a lie, because you can't get anywhere with a 0. But I understand what you were talking about, the yin and yang. Maybe that is the 0. It isn't really a mathematical number. It's a circle. And they've called it 0.
Yeah.
So I understand that, and I understand the yin and yang thing. But in what he's doing, there is no 0, because you can't go anywhere with 0. It adds up to nothing. There is no 0.
That's the point. It gave birth to, it's the point of singularity. You know, that's the beauty of, it's the top of the eye. When you think of the eye, see,
yeah,
when you looking at the one, that's when you're a fallen angel. That's when you stepped off of your throne. You get what I'm saying? Because listen, when you're looking at a 0, you are God looking down at the one or the sun. So when God become a fallen angel and step down, it don't see a dot no more. You see a 1. So think of a flagpole. If I walk up to a flagpole, it looks like a 1. But if I was in an airplane looking down at the flagpole, I won't see a 1. I see a dot. So when we looking at the 0, we're now God, assuming a God view, and we can see the point of singularity because we're hovering above the creation now. And when we look at the 1 that comes next, it's because now we're falling to the ground and we see the dot as a 1 now. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. And something else I just wanted to broach on, because I know that you've probably got to go in a minute, but everything seems to connect back to the eye. Like last weekend, artists found all this information through Chris Monk about electromagnetics and these big arkings. I've mentioned it before, these big arkings which happened on this place, which you can find, right? And when you look at the arkings, they look like the center of an eye. They look like your eye, the color in your eye. It's like a lot of this stuff goes back to looking like eyes. So, yeah, hello. Do you know something else as well?
My mic was muted when I was just, damn.
If you imagine, right, you've got trees and things, they're always out in the sun. They don't burn. They're only burning because of chemicals put on them, you know, from the sky or whatever. And yet they're following the sun.
Yeah.
Genetically, there's other things going on here. It's not because of heat. We feel a heat.
A lot of people said I looked it foolish just now, Karen, because everything I just said, my mic was muted. So what I was telling her, y'all, was that if you look at my eyeball, you can see the same pattern that we see in our earth. The pupil is the pole. The pupil is the pole. So it splits the whiteness of my eyeball 50-50. And this side would be sun, this side would be moon. And the pupil that you see with is the pole. That's the serpent. That's the eye that's perceiving the experience. Your eyeball splits the whiteness equally. And sun, moon splits the earth plane equally. But when we was talking earlier about how all of us may be looking at our own sun, that's really deep, because think about it. If we see from within, what if the sun is our true source of each one of our own light, and it's us who are lighting up our own world? Each of us, you see what I'm saying? What if the sun we see in the sky is the back projection in the back of our pineal gland that's the let there be light when we first, our own sun that we seeing from within, and we projecting it in a circuit. Now, I know a lot of people will give us hell for this, but we've just been philosophical. But
yeah, because with consciousness, because there isn't God without us, or creator without us. We are it. He's in us. And I mean, Alan also found, he knows that we're in an enclosed system because he was working for an electricity company and he was doing work for them. They wanted him to use scalar waves. So he's seen all the information. The scalar waves come back straight away. They wouldn't if we were on a ball. So we're in some enclosed system. And they said the firmament fits us perfectly like a wax seal. And not just that, he obviously, because he's into free energy and all that, he's picked up the Earth's heartbeat. And it sounds like a human walking around.
That's amazing.
It is the most crazy, because, you know, if you sit there and you don't move, your heartbeat goes da-dunk, 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 da-dunk. But you start moving around, it goes donk, 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 da-dunk, 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 because you're moving. This is what the heartbeat sounds like. And he says it changes when there's a big weather front coming in. And occasionally the heartbeat goes and then it comes back. And he's modified this radio only on this frequency, and only he, you know, there's not many radios like him. Now he's understood what the pyramid people were about. You'd like to talk to him. He's amazing.
I do want to talk to him, because a lot of people think I was crazy. This whole thing about us having our personal sun, it make a lot of sense to me now. And it, you know, because I was sounding crazy a while back. I was telling folks, when I wake up in the morning, you know, you can stare directly at the sun, but the halo and the little light that's emanating from it. I remember one day I was in the car yelling. I was on some real ancient mantra type shit. Don't even mask. But I was yelling and I was looking at the sun. I noticed the louder I yelled, it was like I was affecting the vibration of the sun halo. And I was like in the car, like, yelling and looking at it like, damn, it'll slow down when I get quiet and speed up when I yell. And I was like, I know I'm not affecting the sun right now. I'm tripping. And to this day, I'm like, was I tripping? But if that's my son, maybe I was. I don't know. You know, the more you learn, the more you find out we don't really know much about.
The more you learn, the more you realize you don't know anything. Yeah. Sorry, it's like you don't know anything, because it leads on to something else and something else and something else.
And that's the thing. Like, I really don't know nothing. It just sounds smart when I'm trying to explain the mysteries that most folks don't question. But the more I explain it, the more you realize, damn, we don't really know what the hell this place is. Like, it's deep.
Matt reckons we're almost in a pixelated virtual reality. Pixelated virtual reality. I mean, you'd like talking to him as well, but he likes talking. He could talk as long as you. He's done all the triangles and life is all about frequencies and waves. But he would say atom. Everything is atom. But you see, to him, that means everything is Adam. But you're saying it's not, it's Eve.
Yeah, well, he's saying everything is Atum, and that's worshiping the Atum is another name for the Pope as well. I know he's saying his mother, but you know.
But bro, listen. If there's a woman, right, and there's the mother and the goddess and all that kind of stuff, who created her? And then look at our bodies. I mean, just look at even a conception of a baby, the whole thing. I mean, in reality, for a woman, if it was anything else, you'd reject it. And that's why you get morning sickness, because your body's going, this is a foreign entity in your body and you're being sick. But you don't abort it 99% of the time, you don't abort the baby. But I mean, look at that, how a baby's created, what it goes through. I mean, I hadn't even thought about this until Ellie. I mean, I don't know if you know this, you probably do, but when a baby girl's being made, every egg that she produces is already made and in her body when she's being made. You think, what? I mean, I know this quite a few years ago, but that always like baffled me. I don't know what I thought, but the eggs are made when the baby's made. So if you're going to produce eggs or not produce eggs or have eggs, it's all happened in that conception of that baby. And then, for instance, the fluid around the baby, that actually is the baby's pee. But of course it's sterilized, isn't it? Because it's inside the sac. And that's what's passing through that baby, its own urine. The moment it hits out here, it's contaminated. You know, that it would be terrible being inside with urine. But you just think, look at it, look what a baby goes through to become a human and then be born. And they say that it's the worst journey you'll ever take is being born, apart from death.
But you know what,
it's the most dangerous journey in your life you will ever take is being born.
But you know what, though? It's amazing, because think about this. It's a shift of your consciousness. You don't even experience the pain. See, they're trying to control us with fear. For them 9 months when you're in your mother, guess what? You're in a dream state. You're still working karma out in your mind. Those 9 months can seem like an eternity to you. But whenever you work out what you need to work out to be back, that's when you find yourself crying in the hospital, trying to figure out why you came here when you just went over that in the darkness. But by the time they get through indoctrinating you, you forget your mission. So, yeah, they tell you.
When do you think the soul actually is there? Conception, or when the baby's born?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
When do you think the soul is really there in this baby? Is it when it's conceived or when it's born?
Well, that's the problem right there. I believe that when we die, we split and we're in all of these places. I believe that your body right now. Okay, so when you say when is the soul is conceived in this whole 9-month process, I believe that right now while I'm talking to you, Karen, you already being conceived. You already been, right now you being born in a hospital somewhere. On this infinite plane, out of infinity.
What repetition? You think we're repeating it all?
Well, I think...
Like you have been hit before. That's when you get that deja vu. Have you been that place where you actually know what someone's going to say before they say it? It's like, I've heard all this before.
Well,
you haven't.
What it is think about it. They said we live in what? Ecosystems, which is ecosystems, the ripple effect. So there is a latency to where this show just started. In my opinion, on a plane somewhere in this infinite cosmos, this live stream just started. And we finna go through it all again. And it's like, when I say that energy is infinite, this place is infinite, every action we do has an infinite echo or ripple. So right now, when I punch my hand like this, I just created an action where now that's gonna echo across this infinite reality. And at the same time I punch my hand like this, I created a reference point in time. Now, guess what? It's still happening. There's a me somewhere just doing it again. There's a me now just reaching this point. There's a me that already made the punch. There's a me that, and it's like a clip of each part of me making the one action has to recreate itself again infinite times in a fractal way. And it's weird to explain. It's like looking in the eyes of a fly. Every action creates a ripple effect in eternity. And so when you bring something to existence, it can never cease to exist, because how do you delete all of those duplicates? Because if every time I punch, think about it, when you drop a palm into drop a rock into the ocean, it's one rock. But look at all of them ripples. That is a copy of that one action. You see?
In a way, it's not the same, but then the waves are the same sort of thing, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're ripples going out.
I'm saying that we are all, right now, Brother Sanchez is in the egg resting in my next mama. We're a projection. We're projecting ourselves from somewhere right now. Just like if you was dreaming, Karen, if you was dreaming right now, your real body is in the bed and you're projecting your consciousness into a dream place. This is a dream place or a spiritual place. So what I'm saying is, if we're projecting ourselves from somewhere right now, where are we projecting ourselves from? The center. The center of what? Your future mother's womb, the center of the earth. All of these portals are strung together in wombs. So when you leave this existence, you assume your consciousness into another one that was already there waiting for you. You just hadn't tuned into it. So there is a you resting in your future mother's fetus. And whenever you leave this body, you're going to be right on time to awaken and tune, shift your consciousness to that new egg where you already was. All right? You're there right now. You see what I'm saying?
It's even more crazy than I thought.
So that's
one other thing. As a flat earther, I don't sleep that much anymore because, you know, like, you're awake and Australia's waking up. So in one sense, like this hangout, I haven't slept, but most nights I don't go to bed till 3, 4. Usually the sun, well, in the summer especially, the sun is always coming up. It's my favourite time. It's just as the lights come in and then the sun comes. I love it. So I don't sleep so much. I'm much more in the consciousness than in the dream state. And then what about all this stuff when we're in all these different time zones, yet we're all, like on the Hangouts, for instance, every single one of us was there at the same time. We're always there at the same time, even though in reality we're not. It's all just...
Yes. Hey.
I would say this though, that in Matt's research, he reckons that there are 2 suns and 2 moons. It's a bit like, I was watching the sun myself going off to America. This is last year when I was actually, this is all hitting me about the moon's there, the moon's here, and seeing actually how much the sun and moon move around the sky to the seasons. But he was going off to America and someone was talking to me from Australia and said, the light's coming up here. So it's like, how could the light be coming up there and they're getting the sun when I'm actually watching it still going to America? It's all crazy. But I have loads of information because it's like we have a perspective bubble. Yeah. And the higher you go in the sky, that perspective bubble would get bigger. So in an aeroplane, it is a bit bigger. But in that perspective bubble, the sun and the moon and everything is happening. So it is happening for every single one of us in our perspective bubble. And this is something else I want you to think about. Listen, this is what I find crazy. In your day-to-day, roughly, so I know that this room I'm sitting in now looks to the east, west, north's that way, south's behind me. When the sun comes up, there's houses in the way, but you roughly get to see the sun. We'll pick an approximate distance, 60 miles. Yeah, we'll just say 60 miles that you could see when that sun's coming up and going across. Then it goes across and maybe you could see it for the, what is it, 10, 20, 30, say 60 miles. Every day, that sun is doing exactly the same thing for everybody, taking all day to go across your head. and go past. But it's not thousands of miles. It's just this perspective. I think the only thing I think is, bro, is that the sun may be in a different dimension, other dimension.
Okay.
But in this dimension, because of our 3D eyes, we see it the way we do. But that doesn't mean if we had, say, 5 fifth dimensional eyes, we wouldn't see it differently. We would see it differently, but in 3D is what, well, we're 4D beings seeing in 3D, but I think your consciousness, you can go higher dimensions, because I can see into people. I can almost hear what they're saying. You know, I think we're all capable of that. I think a lot of people lose it. It's with you as a child, and then everybody shuts it down. Something happened to me. I didn't get educated the same, and I just didn't shut that connection down. So it's been with me since a child, and I bet you it's the same for you. That thing that you've got right now, which pushes you forward, which gives you everything, this essence thing you've got, this sensitive, you've had it since you were a child. It's never left you. But this bit where the sun, you only see the sun go from there to there every single day, but every single one of us sees the same thing. I just think that blows my mind. What is this we're in?
You think, could it be that some of our reality is what we agree to make it individuality? Excuse me. Could it be that some of our reality is what we agree to make it individually, and the other half is what we agree to make it as a collective? Could it be that what we see happen consciously is an echo of what happens subconsciously in the back of every human's mind? Could the sun be the left brain, and could the moon be the right brain? That we're all...
Matt would say the same thing. The moon is feminine and the sun is the masculine. Whereas people think it's the other way round. People are taught the sun is the feminine thing and the moon is the masculine.
Yeah, the moon is definitely the mother because of the M-O, Mo is mother. And the sun, well, hey, it's telling you it's the man, it's the sun.
Yeah.
You know, so...
But again, as gravity doesn't exist, what are these things in the sky? What are they?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Think about what I'm telling you. If half of our reality is what we can touch and see, and I can toss you this lighter if you was in my house.
Hey, got it.
So what I'm saying is that makes up part of our reality, and part of it is what we all agree on, like the sun, the stars. What I'm saying is there's two things happening. There's individual actions that shape our world, and all of these individual actions make up a collective action that shape our whole reality. Like, I think that we even influence maybe the movement of the stars, or that they influence us, or vice versa. Basically what I'm saying is, if the sun is left brain and the moon is right brain, and we both have left and right brains, but we're calling them the sun and moon, why can't we say that, like we just said, if all of us is projecting our own individual sun, and you said his sun is the left brain, then guess what? We all got a left brain and a right brain, so we all got a sun and a moon. Just like we all got a left hand, a right hand, left foot, right foot. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the stars above are spiritual organs that we're creating from the inside of us. Maybe there's nothing up there but a dark sky, and the stars and the sun and moon we see is coming from us projecting it onto that. That can be something. Maybe we're projected devices. That can be true. Who knows?
When that balloon took that night footage, the way the camera's panning around, you could see that, say the stars are even hundreds of miles away, the balloon wouldn't pan right past them, pan right back. So, I mean, that star set is above that balloon, with that balloon. Well, how can it be everywhere at the same time? Or I know it changes a bit in the southern hemisphere, and you get, like in America, the stars stretch out a bit differently for you there. They just do, and a lot of America, like the Big Dipper's different. The Big Dipper just goes round my house. The Big Dipper goes round like in a square round my house. But for America, it could go over the horizon, dip for a while, and then slowly come back up, and it's much bigger than it is for me. I'm more north. I'm quite north here. But I mean, on that blue footage, the stars were all there. But for everybody else, they're all there. And okay, slowly they start moving. Like I said, in America, the stars look a little bit different than here. But they're still there. They're just, it's all stretched out differently. And you just think, what is all this? How can we all, I just don't get it. I don't get any of it. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it is.
One thing, listen, Stan's been using this 360 camera. And what that's showing is that the sun and the moon are coming up from the ground and going down, basically. I'd have to show you that another time if you're interested. But like, basically what he can see is that the sun and the moon and the stars have this rainbow effect, so that closer to them, they move further away. You get closer to it, they move further away. So it's got the rainbow effect. You know, when you try to go near a rainbow, you can't get to the base.
You can only get that with projection.
So what the hell?
Well, now, if you think about that the closer you get to the sun and moon, what the hell? I'm getting some echo. Let me see. Yeah, the closer you get to the sun and moon, the farther away they go. That supports what we're saying, that, man, the sun and moon we see may be personal, may be coming from within. Now, people will laugh at us now, but, you know, when we say everyone on flat earth, whether they agree with that or not, they would say that the sun and moon are more than likely projections. And then we start debating on where they've been projected from, inside the dome, outside the dome. What if they're being projected from you? What if your eyes is the dome?
Realize, bro, you don't need the sun to see. I mean, it'd be a very cold place here without the sun, because obviously the heat, what we get as heat heats the earth up. But like, I just, it's all just mind-boggling.
Yeah,
the whole thing. I just like, our group is researching all the time, so there's different models coming, and you'd be amazed at FPVs. Again, you'd have to come back and watch that one, or I could just send you the links. I know you're a very busy man. I mean, for instance, people don't realise that the sky isn't even, I mean, I don't know why you think the sky is real. All that is that there is light, and it's bouncing up as far as it can from us, and then it stops, and then it goes black. And most people don't realise the sun is in the black, and it doesn't light the black up, does it? It only lights us up. Everything about us is really reflective. But we don't need the sun for light, but we need the rays. The rays are like food for our bodies. We don't need to be in it all day. 10, 15 minutes a day from those rays. We need them.
You're right.
We need the iron. We need the negative ions from the ground. We need clear water. We need, you know, like salt makes us magnetic. We kind of need a bit of this salt because we're magnetic. We've got this magnetical field around us, just like the one they put around the globe. It's just, it goes on, and it's mind-boggling, isn't it? Yeah,
I love what you say about, you know, the sun isn't lighting up the darkness that's surrounding it. You know, that it's only lighting us up, you know, so that is something right there. And then when you add what you said, when you say that you can see the sun appears to get farther and farther away from you as you try to move toward it. Also, when you pair that with the fact that it's impossible to stand directly beneath the sun or the moon, it also shows you that it's a very good chance that we are participating in creating this reality from the inside out. That is not just an external reality. Like some of this we're creating. And I'm going to start looking more into that, because we all say the sun and moon is being projected, but we don't know where they're being projected from. And what if we're all projecting the sun and moon and stars? A lot of people would say that's crazy, but they compare the brain to the universe.
Reckons it's coming from the ground. You know, like what I might do is he's going to play a video on Friday, next Friday. I mean, you can be there if you want. Or what I'll do is I'll send you that part of the Hangout so you can just see his presentation. because you'll be mind boggled by it all.
Yeah.
And I mean, things switch on, things switch off, and we're on this kind of grid. And this is what the sun's going around. And I think it's to do with these perspective bubbles that you get. But I mean, if I walk from here to you, that perspective stays with me. It's crazy. It's almost like, you know, when they've got a computer game and he starts running and then all the scenery starts appearing in front of him as he's running and it keeps up with him, but it's still, it's like that. That's what we're living in.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
But also, you know the light? I've watched quite a few videos about this now. When the light comes, it's like a gas which comes across the land and starts turning a colour. And you just think, what? It's the most amazing thing, light. And then the sun, it always comes out of the ground. When you see that when they're up in the high altitude balloons, considering, you know, that the sun isn't at a certain distance above the land and coming across it that way, the sun always seems to come out of the land. You have to watch a few, and it comes out of this sort of arcing of the ground, and then it comes up.
Well,
when it appears, it's coming out of the ground.
The name of the sun is Sol. According to the Greeks, the name of the moon is Sign, and they're compared to the yin and the yang, and we can see the sun and moon in every human with the left and right brain, and the sun and moon goes a circuit around this pole, just like the left and right brain covers the pineal gland. So we have the sun and moon going around the North Pole. We have the left and right brain forming thoughts, a highway around the pineal gland. All the information comes in and out of the pineal gland and feeds through the left and right brain, or vice versa. And we see this same thing happening with the sun, moon, and the pole, as the pineal gland is the one observing it. I say all that to say that this conversation is going to lead me into a new level of research, because no one quite understands the sun and moon, and this stuff is very crazy when you think about, I can't stop repeating it, like the closer you travel to the sun, the farther away it gets. That's like, I can't stop thinking about that, and it's crazy. Like, so it seems like a projection. Like, it's like the donkey with the carrot in front of its face. The donkey is walking toward the carrot thinking the carrot's going to get closer, but don't realize the carrot is attached to it. So why the fact that we can't make it to the sun and it seems to appear to get further away may be because we're actually trying to walk towards something that's being projected from our own brain. It's crazy.
It's absolutely crazy. And then there's this bit like, if they can't make stars more than 60 miles up, Alan reckons the firmament is definitely a frequency, but after that he can't quite, because of scalar waves, but he's not sure if it's like hard fixed or it's just a frequency. But there's so much electromagnetics around us, it might be that it is just a frequency that we can't get in and out. It's just so strong. Oh, it just, I could go on for hours myself. I'm not as good as explaining it as the people who've done this work. You know, this is just my little like bit on it. But like, it's just like, now I'm just so confused about what everything is. You think, how could someone make, or anything make this? And yet it does seem that there's definitely here a creator, and we're definitely in this whole system. It's amazing.
Well, I'm gonna say this,
our bodies are amazing. Our minds are amazing when you think about it. And very quickly, just this lady, right? She's a medium. And what it is she regresses people. I can't remember her name. She's quite big. Other people have heard of her. And when she regresses people, it doesn't matter whether they're 50s, 60s, 70s, 20s, 30s children. They always say, I chose to come here, or I was sent here, or I've come to save the world. I had the calling that I needed to save Earth. And then what it is she put them into 3 categories. So this video was made a few years ago, so I would have said that, yeah, anyway, so those people are now older, so 60s, 70s, 80s, say, are the first wave, and they've just been sent here and they hate it because they've been sent direct from source and they just hate it, but they had to start somewhere, and they're the guinea pigs, I suppose, of this whole thing. The second lot which includes me, down to about the age of, say, 20s, antennas. We're antennas. And then the children, which is your children, maybe mine, but mine are, I told you, my son's older than you. They're here to save the world because they're on a different frequency. They're a different frequency. So that's what she said. I thought that was very interesting, that there are waves of us that have been sent. And this is maybe why I don't think there's going to be that many people wake up. I'm just asking, have you got M's on your hands, on the palms of your hands? Look at them. Does it look like Zorro's gone?
Yeah.
Because everybody with M's is mega sensitive. And it means, like, Matt reckons that we're the family of Joshua. And that means we're all related in the spirit world. We're all related. And it means that when you talk, if you cried, I'd cry. We're all connected. That doesn't mean everybody is. And there's only so many M's. I don't know what it means exactly, but that's just something else that's come across lately. The M's on the hands. And Marlena understands all about the M's. And there are sometimes there's other letters with the M's, and they all mean things. But there's not that many. There may not be many people waking up right now. This may be it. There might be a few stragglers coming in, and you think, what? And then when you look at it, the demonic, the whole thing is just so demonic. Oh, it's disgusting. Yeah. There's not much you can actually do and have in life. That doesn't mean it belongs to some satanic or masonry or what. It's just what we're living in is just, I can't believe how they've managed to do it. But we did do this ourselves, right? In the 1900s, papers were printing. If you actually said you believed that we lived on a ball, you could go to prison. So even if it was a bit like you couldn't really make them go to prison, maybe it was a bit overstated, at least they were talking about the fact that we were still flat. So this whole thing where it's 400 years ago is a lie. And then in the 1900s, we were building many, many free energy cars, electric cars, the whole thing, electric vans, electric lorries. These lorries could go these cars could go over 100 miles an hour, and then they would last hours without being recharged. There's other things with wind turbines. You could still have free energy cars. Then we get to the First and Second World War, where we got pretty destroyed. Our infrastructure got destroyed. America didn't, but a lot of Europe did. Infrastructure, just Paris, Germany, bombed. When we came out of that, then comes gas, oil, NASA, the ball, time savings. You know, with the sun and, you know, what times we wake up, like we've got summertime and wintertime, we go back and forward an hour. All that came in the 60s. They turned us into a ball in the 1960s. Not 400 years ago. The cull happened in the 60s. And then you could find information up to the 1990s in newspapers about the fact they were still talking about flat Earth. Get to the end of the 1990s, then it stops. And then there was this guy, I can't remember his name right now, but he had a Flat Earth magazine, a group, everything. He was getting somewhere, you know, he was still there promoting it. And then his whole place got burnt down with all his information. So you know that that was done on purpose to get rid of anybody talking about flat Earth. So this whole thing, so for instance, your grandma's mum and dad would have known we lived on a flat plane. And if you imagine, it's only been the last 50 years, and yet when you go out there and you say flat Earth, they want to kill you. It's crazy. They hate you. I think what it is when you're saying it's flat, you've just told them their life's a lie. Maybe that's all it is. But you know, don't you, in front of you, people who you trusted almost turn into devils and go through this really weird spiritual devilness. You think, what the hell happened to them? They can't handle it. They can't handle, they almost go into Agent, what's the name from, what do you call it, The Matrix. So once they go mad. Have you noticed that?
You got me thinking about some things here now, because you're telling me that the flat Earth movement, I meant to say that the globe Earth is not as old as we may think it is. The whole globe Earth deception.
Yeah, And then maybe what it was is, you know, when they've got all the people looking up at the rocket and them going to the moon, maybe they really wanted to know at that point. There was such a talk about whether we were a ball. Maybe they was just like, are we a ball? Maybe it wasn't about going to the moon so much. It was about, are we a ball? Are we flat or are we a ball? You just don't know, because they've just changed so much of it. Just
That's crazy.
So much.
That's crazy. How much of our reality does our eyes play a trick on? Because when I talk about this sun thing and tricks with the sun and moon and all of that, take that and think about NASA. Like you said, none of us never been up there. What if you go all the way up there and the earth start to look different because your eyes change? Like, for example, if we looking up at the sky and the way we see the sky is just because the way our eyes are made like a dome, and that we're seeing Polaris based upon our own eyes making a point, because our eyes curve everything on the horizon. Our eyes
might have a slight 40 bit. I do understand that, the same as with a camera. But can I just say that Marlena, we had Pilot LX, if you've ever heard of him. He came on with the night before, because we're the next day now. And Marlena, they've all flown at about 60,000 feet. And they say nothing changes to like what looks like on the high altitude balloon, except it's just a little bit further away because you're higher. Nothing changes. The plane just goes on and on. So that's really great. It's like, what? I mean, we could be in this looping thing, which this is.
Yeah.
I think it was easier when we were on a ball, wasn't it? At least you could. It seemed to fit because the sun was going or you were going round. But this, what we're on, it's just like, oh my goodness, it's crazy.
It's actually dope. It's interesting because in the future, I want to start researching about the Bermuda Triangle. Now that we have all of this knowledge, because whatever going on in some of these certain places, ain't no telling, man. There can be, hey, who knows?
There's another spot as well you need to look up. It's a bit like the Bermuda Triangle, but it's off of Africa. That is 0 point. It's off of Africa.
Yeah, because why we can't fly over some areas? What if there's black holes or what they're trying to create at CERN?
This is why I don't think they will allow all these planes to go from South America to Africa. You know, everything has to go up to America and come across, and then UK, Germany, France is where all the planes land to take off to go to Australia and that. So Australia has to come here to go to America. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, if you went across from, say, South America over to Africa and up, wouldn't that be a lot quicker than going all the way up to America, maybe stopping in New York, then coming across to the UK? There's got to be a reason why they don't want planes to fly there. A bit like the Bermuda, it's off of Africa. They found a 0 point. It's on the map. It's on like Google Maps. They use it as a sort of 0 point. So something happens there.
Hey, Karen, I don't mean to rush off, but I do got to hop off real quick. We can crank it back up though, but I did enjoy this. I think this was a classic. Real talk.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame we hadn't recorded this bit of talk. But then I think you're a bit more relaxed now and not on air. You can just sort of sit there and have a smoke, and it's been brilliant. I wasn't sure if you were ignoring me. I sent you a few emails like, are you going to stand Santos up? Bro, where are you? Yeah.
Yeah, me and his time zones are kind of crazy, and then the way I sleep and be up at night, like right now, I probably still don't go to sleep because like a fool, I'm drinking some coffee this late. So I'm not
and you get a bit buggy sometimes on the hangouts, don't you? When you've had a good hangout and you're thinking, you've got more to think about. You're so buzzing. After a hangout finishes, you need an hour or two just to come down from the flipping hangout.
You're right. Yep.
And I mean, it's quite intense, all this stuff, isn't it? Like, did you ever think that you'd be looking into all this stuff?
I never thought that I would be live streaming, talking about this kind of stuff. I literally never thought about it. In fact, a lot of people try to crucify me about that now, Karen, because they bring up little videos and little rap videos. Say, how the hell he gonna do this now? I don't know, man. I didn't choose it. I just went into some knowledge that changed my life. I ain't been the same, but one thing, I always been inquisitive. So I think that's what it was. And
I think that if you understand that, whatever, even if things have to be finely tuned for the future, because you never know, as you learn more information, you might change your mind on a little bit about what you're saying now. I always feel that whatever it is source. So when I tell someone something, it's not because I've got this big ego or I'm being horrible. This is coming, whatever it is the truth. It's the truth. You're doing it about yours. Mine was a bit more about psychology and people before I came to Flat Earth, so I sort of feel I know a bit more about that. But people just, like, why is it there are certain people that understand you and there's most people don't? And I just don't think a lot of people realise that they're spiritual beings, and you should be even if you understood what that was. That's know yourself, be yourself, accept yourself. That's it. Know yourself, see yourself, accept yourself, and be yourself. So, and this thing about, I know you want to go in a second, but this ego thing, you need an ego to wake up. But on the other hand, the egos usually look at it all. Look how nasty people are. Look how rude people are. And it's all aggravation. And yet, the ego you're supposed to have is, like you say, to in tune with nature. It's all these other things. I think you just pick up on it because you're really sensitive.
Yeah.
And I mean, you've got quite a following, haven't you? You've got quite a lot of people who talk to you and that. I think if you want to go into these stuff like you're doing now, you only have who you want on that hangout, even if it's just you, because you want to say it without anybody interrupting and you want to say it. And then, like you say, when you want other nights of opening up, then you just let everybody on. But I think you're a bit bored of it all. Like that guy was talking about, oh, you went next, you know, done all that, we've been there. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about this.
You know what?
People just don't.
I probably was wrong for that, because sometimes I do be aggravated, and I think that was probably, yeah, I probably was wrong for that one.
Yeah, but if you sense though, you know, when you've understood more and you keep moving on, like Matt laughs a lot of the time because they say, can you explain it? And he goes, ha ha, because he's like, where do I begin? This whole thing, he starts here and he ends up over there because everything's so interconnected. Like I said, you can't take 2 minutes to explain it. It's deep. It takes ages.
Yeah.
And then all along, you're hoping that people are hearing what you're saying and understanding it, because it is deep. I think you have to just sort of, like I say, if you want to get this information out, don't have hundreds of people on your panel when you're doing it.
You sure
keep that for the bit where you want to say what you want, because they just interrupt or whatever.
Mm-hmm. You sure enough right. I ain't gonna lie, so I gotta keep that in mind. Like stuff like this, that's why I didn't let nobody on, because I know it was gonna be a lot. That's like I still got notes I didn't touch on, deep stuff. Like when you was talking about dimension, when you say that the sun and moon may be in other dimensions, the word dimension translates to a measurement, meaning a fractal measurement, sort of to speak of our reality, a segment. Like we said, there's dimensions within us and outside of us. I'm gonna be brief with this. Dimension is the mansion or a divided mansion. When you talked about earlier, when I brought up Jesus saying, I go prepare a place for you in my Father's kingdom, there are many mansions. I believe that there are many mentions or dimensions. And I don't think this is space that exists. This space is all around us and in us in these dimensions. We're inside of someone else's mansion or dimension. But when you think about heaven, the name of heaven was Valhalla, and it ends in Allah. Valhalla is Valhalla. And so when you talk about a noun, it's a noon or a goddess. And we're all noons or nouns, because a noun is a person, place, or a thing. That's what they taught us. But we're a nouns, we're a noons, we are persons, places, and things, because there are cosmos that exist in us. We are places. A mother is a place for a baby to be. Each of us has the cosmos in us as well. So we're not only people, but we're places, because we go within ourselves to travel to places when we dream. So we are people, places, and we're things, you know, because we are a thing that we call a cosmos or cosmic egg. We're a miniature representation of what the creator is. We're a person, place, and a thing. So we're nouns or noons. But I'm gonna leave y'all with that.
Hey, just before you go, this is a slightly different subject, but have you seen a film, Jacob's Ladder?
You know what? I might need to look at that because I know that's about the North Pole. I haven't saw that one.
What it is it was a film out in the sort of late 70s, and what's actually happened is they've injected the soldiers with this death, you know, like it's going to make them really aggressive drug, and instead of them killing the enemy, supposedly in the film, they start killing each other. And what it is one of these soldiers has been shot, and you don't realise till the end that he's actually dying, and he died in hospital. But all you're doing is getting his mind, and 1 minute he's the soldier, then he's someone else living in France or wherever it is, married, but he keeps seeing a devil. He keeps seeing some devil thing going on, and the film's so confusing that nobody knows what's really going on, and everybody has a different answer. Maybe it's not revolutionary now, but in its time it was quite revolutionary, because you're trying to work out, well, what's his reality and what isn't reality? And you don't realise till the end of the film that he's actually dying. But I mean, it's a very interesting concept about these places where he's there and he's there at the same time. In his dream, he's one place and he's another place.
That's interesting, because we say we're here, he's dying. That's an interesting concept. The man that spends his life trying to figure out what is reality, what is real, and while doing so, he's dying. Or is he's living? I think the man that goes on a quest to figure out what this place is, they have consciousness have outgrew the Taurus field, and they probably are on a way of graduation. What I'm saying is, do we begin to die when we've exhausted all of our passions, meaning we've fulfilled our fate, or you know what I mean?
I had this book. It said, if you're still alive, your mission on Earth isn't over.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. That's dope. That's what I mean. So yeah, this was dope, man. I want to continue this definitely with you, Karen. I want to thank you again. Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna let everybody go. I just want to give a shout out to all the people in my chat room. Much love to y'all, all of my moderators, all of the viewers, and all of the supporters. Anybody that sent in the super chat donations, I appreciate you. Look like Lil Beezy Bama Born sent the $5 super chat donation. Appreciate you. I appreciate the support. And Karen,
oh, you're still streaming then, bro?
Yeah, I'm still streaming. I'm at 9 hours. I got to go right now. But yeah,
I didn't know you were still streaming, because obviously I stopped at 8.
Yeah, I was going to give some shout outs.
They've been listening to me.
Yeah, I was going to give some shout outs, but I ain't going to give them now because I got to go. But I'm going to tell you what, I want to give you a shout out, Karen, because it was good talking to you. And I would love to do this normally with you. And definitely me and Santos Bonacci need to build we need to collab more.
Do you think, bro, if we have Santos on again, I don't add any other people and it's just you and him, just me, maybe Patricia because she's quiet, and I just let you and Santos talk. So there isn't other people on there.
Okay. Yeah, however you want to do it, because it's your show. I'm just happy that you got a platform where I can have frequent run-ins with good people like yourself and Santos and all of that. And I definitely want to keep that open. So, yeah, I'm on.
Well, that's fine by us. We definitely want you to come back.
Well, no doubt it. Sooner than you think.
Emails. If you look at your emails, you'll see how many times I wrote to you, because I was thinking, Santos is also quite a busy person. And so, to have him there and you weren't replying to me, and I thought, oh no, he's not going to visit.
Yeah.
But I'm so pleased it happened today. But I think if we do it again, maybe just have you and Santos, just me and someone who's going to be quiet. Because then you get really into it, don't you? Like you two can get into talking.
Oh, yeah.
And other people are saying things.
Me and Santos, we both can be extensive because we have so much knowledge. And yeah, I want to give him another shout out because, he been doing it way, way, way long before me. And like he said, I respect his work, but I am the little one. And I said little one because I'm way younger than Santos. He's our elder. He's our great teacher. And what I am, that brave student that ruffles my teacher's feathers. I do it to Santos. I do it to people over me because I want to set the standard for the younger generation behind me, that this is how we supposed to challenge our sensei. This is how you get better. And the teacher like those students that will challenge even their teachers, because that's how the knowledge is going to continue to evolve into back what it was during the golden age. Because, you know, that's what Martin Kenny did. He took Santos' teachings and came up with a good model, and he did a good job, and I enjoyed the way Santos came on the end and gave him some more insight. So hopefully we can get Martin Kenny too. If you have any way to get in touch with Martin Kenny, that'll be awesome. If you can tell Santos, maybe we can get him on a lot of these shows to discuss that model he made some more. So,
cool. I've put his name down. I don't know him myself, but maybe someone in the group has or emails him or something. I'll find out.
Yeah, Santos was on a show with him on my channel called Cosmic Egg, Martin Kenny and Santos Bonacci. And I think his channel is Flat Earth Universe, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Hold on, I don't want to give him the wrong shout out. Before I end this show, let me have everybody go subscribe to Martin Kenny. Hold up a minute, because
and the Sun and Moon Family United.
yeah, Sun and Moon Group. Make sure you definitely subscribe to Sun and Moon Group. And I'm gonna be on your channel often, so we're gonna definitely get a lot of traffic over there. But
that's brilliant, bro. It's been really amazing, and thank you for spending this time with me, because, you know, usually I'm quite quiet.
No doubt.
It's not about me. I feel that this whole thing, that platform I've set up, it's not about me going on about me. This is about getting the people on and getting the people talking. The people showing their research. Whatever it is, it's not, the show's not about me. So I stay quite quiet. And
I definitely can feel that energy. You're so right. Like I said, that is the standard of live streams. I appreciate that. Let me let everybody get on up out of here, because it's been too long. Let me get on out of here. Email me and we can do this again as soon as you want. Much love to you, Karen. I'm going to get on out of here.
Okay, it's been amazing. Thank you so much, bro. And thank you. Amazing talk for all that time. What an amazing evening, morning. Thank you so much for your time and everything.
Hey, thank you too. You have a good one now.
Thank you, my darling.
All right, you're welcome.
Speak to you soon then.
Please do, so we can do another.
Flat Earth hugs. I didn't give any Flat Earth hugs out today. I always give Flat Earth hugs out. I'm not showing myself because I'm still in my pajamas. But Flat Earth hugs for everybody. And what an amazing hangout. Thank you so much.
Hey, you're
welcome, for all the
sis.
information. You've made me think about some things as well.
And we're going to continue it. So I'll see you maybe tomorrow or whenever we go back live. Hey, good night, my sister.
Good night to you, bro. Thank you so much. And to everybody in your chat room.
Peace. Thank you all out there for tuning in. Until next time, Flat Power. I know this was a long stream, and I'm getting a lot of flack from people saying, Brother Sanchez, you got to make that shit shorter. How about you guys make it shorter? If someone can spend hours out of their day to give you this quality information, then you can take it and chop it up and make it into little clips. I'm reaching a point, y'all, where I really don't have a lot of time to go back in these streams and be chopping it up and still make new fresh stuff and still do live streams. I'm gonna need some of y'all help. Some of y'all that don't donate monetarily, then one way you can do it is to take some of these long ass live streams, sit down, rewatch them in your program, and chop them up into different videos and titles and shit, at which points where we talking about wet subjects, and put them back out there in digestible portions, you know, 2-hour videos or something that's digestible like that. I do it for other people. I need you guys to do it for me, because a lot of that good stuff can get buried in these 9-hour screens. Nobody want to click on it. So yeah, that can be a job for somebody, and you can take that content, start your own channel, or people be like, man, where he get this video from? And they don't even know that it's a video that I streamed and that you just chopped up. And that's how you can make your content. All right, you can take this stuff, strip the audio off of it, and put the pictures with what we saying, like go and get the pictures and make it into a video. Start your own channel, and I'll promote that channel. I tell everybody go subscribe to them because they take my live streams and they shorten them up for you guys who complain. And I will actually make sure that you get compensated for that. So yeah, that's something, you know, if you want to get deep into that or learn how to edit videos, email me if you want to do it and don't know how to edit. But y'all who know how to edit, yeah, get busy chopping up a lot of these long streams that I'm doing, me and Santos. This classic stuff. You know, you chop this up into digestible stuff. You can add music with it. You can put it in you can alter it how you want to make it better. Add the pictures with it and do whatever you want. Upload it on your channel, monetize it, okay? You have my permission and help us spread this stuff. Chop it up, you know, and make it into new content. Get creative. You know, you don't have a YouTube channel, open one. You know, you don't have no content to upload, I'm giving you content. Here's 9 hours worth footage. Somebody can take this and chop this up and be putting fresh shit out on YouTube where people don't even know where you got it from. Because you sat there, you look, you rewatched the 9 hour stream, and now you got me and Santos and all of this classic stuff uploaded on your channel under a different title, like, hey, Sanchez and Bro Sanchez Epic Stream Part 1. And you can make it in parts or whatever you want to name it. You know, and people be like, damn, they got Brother Sanchez and Santos Bonacci up there going in like this. Where the hell they get this from? What he getting this content from? Well, I'm giving you my permission to take any of this content and make it yours. Okay? And to everybody in the chat, I'm sorry that I wasn't watching the chat, but I got to get out of here now. Email me for further contact. Peace and much love to you all. Y'all have a good night.